Do you know about Association of Indian Management Schools? It's a 34-year-old networking body of B schools in India, having a membership of about 600 top management institutions. AIMS focuses on professionalization of management education, protects interests of B schools, represents management institutions at national and international forums, financially supports members in academic events, funds research projects on management, disseminates management-related knowledge through its annual Management Education Convention, conferences, seminars, roundtables and workshops, organizes free weekly webinars on knowledge sharing and inspiring young leaders sessions for management faculty and students, supports B schools in admissions through Atma, AIMS test for management admissions. Visit https://atmaims.com for more details. Publishes a biannual AIMS Journal of Management. Visit https://aimsjournal.com for more details. Circulates a quarterly e-newsletter on AIMS activities. Conducts workshops on case writing. Encourages AIMS members to be part of decision-making processes as members of chapter management committees and the executive board. Encourages students' participation in free weekly quiz competitions by providing support to interested institutions. Facilitates networking and interaction among B schools. Why would you like to remain a non-member of AIMS? Pay a very low one-time membership fee and enjoy many lifetime benefits. Visit https://aims.org.in for more details.
Good afternoon, everyone. As much awaited time for our awaited session, for a much awaited talk. It's always a pleasure to introduce eminent speakers like Rajeshwari ma'am. And it's always a pleasure interacting with the youth. I believe you are the power of our country. And the foundation of every country is the education of the youth. So with that code, which is so close to me, education in itself, close to my heart, I will begin by giving a brief introduction about me. I'm going to be the moderator for today's program. I am Trupti Jadhav, a corporate trainer, a motivational speaker. I'm very fortunate to be associated with top IT companies of Pune and management colleges in the capacity of a soft skills trainer and a visiting faculty for the core subject business communication. I also run and own my own TJ's oratory classes wherein I coach students for corporate readiness, the need of the hour. I truly believe that 85% of your financial success is because of your communication skills, your personality, your attitude, and shockingly only 15% because of the technical skills. Later when we have a question and answer session, please do let me know if you agree with this thought process that 85% of your financial success is because of your communication skills. And that is my endeavor to inculcate good oratory skills and make my students confident orators. Our topic for today is innovative methods beyond case studies. It's high time now that we evolve and transform our pedagogy methods, our teaching methods. And we need to understand that there are three types of learners. Unfortunately, when I was in school, we were mostly taught from textbooks. So there are three types of learners. One is the audio learner who learns by listening. Then there is a visual learner like me who would like to have more of visuals and have picture memories. And the third is the kinesthetic learner who actually learns by experimenting. Until and unless our teaching pedagogy is not inclusive of all these three types of learners, I wonder how much our education system is really transformed. And I would love to, and that is why I'm waiting to hear thoughts of our eminent speaker today. Let me now take the privilege of introducing our distinguished speaker, Dr. Rajeshwari Narendran, a PhD in Management and MBA, Harvard Business School. She has the distinction of being the first ever woman and youngest national president of Indian Society for Training and Development. She is the first woman to be elected in any profession body in HR and management across Asia. She is currently the National Council member with Higher Education Council of Women International Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Recently, she has been nominated as board member to the Pravasi Legal Aid Cell for Gulf countries. For supporting working people of India abroad for the rehabilitation, rights, dignity, safety. She is external IC member for POSH in IIM Udaipur. She is also advisory board member in many organizations like Arogya World. She has been inducted recently in Association of Global Business Research and Practice, USA, which represents B schools of 119 universities. Currently, she is the director, NTPC School of Business, Noida, visiting professor to IIM Udaipur, IIM Ahmedabad, and many universities across the globe. She has delivered lectures and trainings at Harvard Business School as well. She also has a rare attribute of being a psychodynamic analyst, helping Indian public sector giants corporates like DGH, Ministry of Petroleum, Accenture, Reserve Bank of India to hire and promote leadership pipeline and training. She is a coach and a great motivational speaker, and her immense positive energies, I'm sure, have inspired thousands. Dr. Rajeshwari is a popular trainer, HRD consultant, and so far has trained record-breaking 85,000 plus aspirants. She has won the Raj Singh Award and Ambassador of Goodwill, GSC California. She recently has been awarded with Lifetime Achievement as Women Leader by NIFT and the Guild of Newspapers. Research publication articles, 173 books, innovations in HRD and training, Excel books 2014 and 21. She has been a board member, International Federation for Training and Development Organizations. She was awarded by Women Economic Forum as Exceptional Leader of Excellence. So I have in fact edited this. So it's a huge, huge decorated list. I can see myself as a small part of you, ma'am, wherein I do have a little bit of what you do. Of course, not such a broad extent. I've also finished my computer science from Morris County College, USA. And to some extent, I do share some part of your profile, if not even half of it. So it is my privilege to have introduced such an eminent speaker for today. I have a few instructions. We cannot do without them. Participants will not be allowed to unmute themselves throughout the session, though ma'am would have loved to have an interactive session with you. But we do have the question answer session. So in case you have a question that pops up, please do write it in the Zoom chat box so that you don't forget it. Feedbacks and attendance link will be shared in the question and answer session and is available for 15 minutes only. Certificates will be issued to only those students who submit feedback form. So over to you, ma'am, and we are really, really thrilled to have you here. A very warm welcome to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Trupti, and everyone at the Association of Indian Management Schools. And this is something which is very close to heart when you are speaking with your own community, and you are trying to see that make a small difference that you can make. I would say that coming from a training background, I always felt I would like to take you to a very small journey. That when, as a student, I was when studying in class 4 and 5, and I used to say that why the teachers are taking only the chalk and board, why can't they explain through stories, songs, maybe something which is very visual, artistic, creative. And I used to go and talk to the teachers about it. So one of my teachers, she said that why don't you record it, what all we can do in topic wise. And I started recording. See, that is the power of a teacher, that in a prodigy you can find some spark and you can allow the person to do that creativity. That is the first part I would like to say. So that is what gave me the confidence that there is something beyond the chalk and board. Though I studied in a government school, I was sitting on the floor and studied. All my basic education was in Rajasthan, in a very small town called Udaipur. But my teachers were so empowered, so enlightened, that they gave this power of thought, that how can you make a difference. So in class 8th, I started teaching along with my teacher with some innovative thoughts, and that's how I started all the way. The other thing which I am maybe not the world understands that, and that's why we use this terminology called pedagogy. See, in B.Ed, when a teacher is doing a Bachelor of Education course, they give the word, pedagogy. So the first part, P-E-D, ped means child, and goji is the way you learn. So pedagogy is applicable when you are dealing with the children. The moment it comes adult, it is andragogy. So my first learning point for all of us together today would be that can we think of, getting from pedagogy to andragogy, because children may have, their own capacities, their own curiosities, and their own way of learning. However, when it comes to the teachers at the higher level, the trainers at the higher level, the facilitators at the higher level, they have to think beyond what has been there, because now you're dealing with somebody who has already got certain presumptions in their mind. They have come with certain basic level of education and understanding. Now, this is a hard nut to crack. So this is important, that how can we enthuse them? So as Trupti was reading, my resume, I was just thinking that how beautifully this thing happened, that I go and teach the teachers of the Harvard that how to inculcate the participatory techniques in your class beyond the case study. So that's why when Dr. Reddy approached me, I said, sir, this is the topic which is very close to my heart. And how it came to me is also a very interesting story, that we all, like 40 teachers at IIM Ahmedabad, we were undergoing the FDP program, and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam came and he gave one question to all of us, that there is a question and the person whose answer I like the most would teach with me tomorrow, or I would give them the exclusive time to stand on floor with me. How beautiful this was, because he had then later given me the time and he has asked me to prepare certain things, and I was asking him, sir, this is how I want to make a difference in this world of teachers and learners. And then he only mandated me that go and teach all the teachers about the participatory technique. So I'm very happy that when I started in all these things in 2009, I was called by CBSE, and many things have changed ever since in CBSE. They included many projects, game-based learning, some kind of, tools and techniques they have included into the syllabus. However, I'm not very happy that everything has changed. Not everything has changed. That there are absolute reasons to, see that how still we can make a difference. I'm going to give a very small demo here. So I've taken a A4 size paper, if you see, and I am folding it straight from, the middle, the vertical side. And what I'm doing is I'm tearing certain part of the paper just from the top like this, and also from below. And what I do now, I just hold these papers like this. and I'm making an eye. This paper is like an eye, if you can see this. But when I open this side, there is a kind of a door which is opening. Okay. So when I am teaching a personality development exercise, I would say you are I, write your name here, write your positive points here, whatever positives are there, and write whatever negative or whatever, your emotions, or if you have anything that you don't feel good about you, write it here. And then I would also ask them to write the way to open this door and accept your weaknesses. A very simple exercise, but a very powerful exercise, because you give the time to go through this very small eye, and I say that please keep always opening this door, check that these are my difficulties, these are my challenges, but again close the door, come back and read that what all you can do to overcome these challenges. So that makes, even a small exercise like a paper exercise can make your class very, very effective, very impactful. Coming back to what I want to share today. So, of course, I'm going to share my screen now, and I would be talking about the various things. I hope, is it visible now? Can somebody give me a heads up?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah, great. So this is very important that now I'm going to talk about something first about the case study analysis. Why I would like to state about case study analysis, because all the management schools, all the teachers at Harvard, at Stanford, at IIM, at any B school would be all the time talking about cases, and cases. Well, when I go to the Harvard Business School, I definitely see a different picture there, that yes, they look at the case teaching very, very deeply. However, when they are looking at the case studies, there is a board plan. There is a board plan. Now the teachers listen to me. I'm seeing that the 100 number is now participants there. And if my voice is reaching there, let me tell you that, the board plan, which a teacher at Harvard is doing, is divided into 9 pastures. So these 9 pastures, even at many of the IIMs, people do not talk about as a teacher or as a student. When you are going through these 9 pastures, you are able to see a emergent picture of what is exactly the problem. So I'll just read out what are the various pastures. So we start with noticing the historical perspective. First, you identify the protagonist, and then you call on all the historical perspectives. Once you have done with historical perspectives, you do the SWOT analysis. That is the second part of the board. So entire board is divided into 9 equal parts. So top left, you start with history. Then second, from extreme left, middle, you say that it is the SWOT analysis. Come to the middle, right issues, then challenges. And then maybe you go to the right extreme, say decision dilemmas, action forward, your out of box thinking, major key learning concept connections, and the future forward. So these are the various 9 types of pastures Harvard Business School teaches you. Nonetheless, how many of us use it? I think we use the board so randomly. The reasons are many. Now, what are the reasons why we are not able to, go through the case study as per the required acumen? Of course, there is limited number of Indian cases, and if you want to purchase a Harvard case for $8 for 60 students, you know that you have to pay almost $500 for one class of 1 hour or maybe 90 minutes. So we do not go for buying that, because all the schools do not have this vast, funds and reservoirs that they can buy those expensive cases. And we have limitations on Indian cases. There are many books, there are certain things, but how open it is or how quality oriented it is, that check I am not commenting on. Second, definitely, the students do not like to go for longish cases. They don't like it. They don't just want to do that thing. They don't come reading. They don't come prepared. So what happens to the teachers that they go for a toss because the students have not prepared and they are working on a board plan or a limited time constraint, and that makes them go, okay, quickly, go, read, analysis and part, and this is the answer, okay, we are done with the case. So there is a time constant. And of course, the lack of teachers is dearth of good teachers. We all are reeling. We feel that teachers are there, but somehow their training has not been as preparatory as it could be. So there are limitations to the case study approach. I here want to bring a small picture. If you can see, this is a very common picture everywhere. You will find this Einstein's query about that if a monkey or a crow or a penguin or an elephant or a fish or a walrus and a dog are to be tested on one set of skills, probably many of them would fail, only one would pass. Like if the fish is set into the water, then maybe the walrus and maybe the fish would be the scorers high, but you may not get, like if they have to climb the tree, then monkey would be the fastest. So I also feel that as I was talking about the methods of teaching, it is very important that even we as teachers must go for important outcome-based teaching. And also we must see that can we do on a regular interval some kind of different teaching method and connecting it with a different evaluation method. So I'm not going in one step. I am asking you, don't look only beyond the case today, but also see that how this can be evaluated on a continuous evaluation method along with your continuous using innovative methods or participatory methods in the classroom. I would be giving certain examples. Trupti, you are free to stop me anywhere you feel that I'm not making any sense or if I need to redirect myself. Okay, so I would request you to do that. However, as I said, I would be talking here that how a teacher has to be more like a facilitator of the learning, because you are now dealing with the ender or the andragogy. That means now you have adult learners. So when the adult learners are there, you can no more be a rote learning teacher or promoting teacher like that, where your primary role was to explain concept-based A, B, C, D, board filled, and your work is done. So you have to be now the facilitator. You have to be sowing the seeds of thought in the minds of the learners. In their mind, there should be a kind of a tingling that I need to learn this thing. I have to make a difference to myself. This has an application value. This has got something where I connect myself to my passion, to my learning, to my forum of or the genre of study which I am applying. Is so much important. So that's why I always call the teacher is better a facilitator than only teaching the students to go for a rote learning, mug your notes and then you pass the exam and that's it. I would not promote that. Be coming from the prodigyship of likes of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I will never promote that. So what you can do, like while you're teaching different methods, you can also apply different methods of evaluation. It is a board level decision. It is, of course, a university level decision that what kind of all the elements they can put it into the examination patterns. However, I'm also deeply working with AICT and UGC, where we are promoting different evaluation patterns now. And soon, maybe what I'm talking, you would be seeing that is being applied. So I'm happy to contribute if anyone wants to learn more. So what are the active learning methods? If you see that the active learning methods, if I can say so, there are so many, from simple to complex. There is an entire paradigm. If you see towards the right of the PPT, you would see that from very small reflective session to going to a forum theater or a kind of an experiential learning. It has got so many types. Here, I would also like to tell here that for last 34 years, I had been the first woman trainer, and my first client was Railway. I was just 20, and I was standing in front of them taking a training session on basics of management. And they said that what a misfortune that a small girl has come here to teach us. And we are all 55 plus, and we don't want to learn from you. So I said, sir, anyway, now I've been appointed for your class today. After 10 minutes, if I don't make any sense, please ask me to leave. I will never ever be a trainer. I will never try to be a trainer. So, big officers of Railway. And so I started with management principles and everything. If I start like that, I was sure that I would falter. So I just gave them 5 sentences, jumbled sentences. And I said, these are certain events. And if these events can be, chronological, you have to make it chronological appearance of these 5 sentences. That what should happen first, what should happen second, what should happen third, then fourth, and why fifth. So I gave them a scenario that a new railway station platform is to be created. So there has to be Shilanyas, or this stone by who inaugurated. The railway minister will come as an inauguration. There is a pandit who has to give a good muhurta, and their invitations is to be sent, and food and all those logistic arrangements done. So what would you do first? Into groups. Within 3 minutes, the task was to be completed. They came back, and every group had a different story to say. That we will first make the stone carving done. I said, okay, then what happens if the minister gives you a different date? Oh, we didn't think. Then what happens if the Pandit disagrees that this is not a right muhurta? Then what happens? Then again they went back. I said, come again. So in this entire exercise, almost 15 minutes passed, and then I asked, shall I leave the class? As you said that after 10 minutes, I offered that if I don't make sense, I would be happy to go, and I'll never look back in training as a career. So the senior most person who was about to retire in a month's time, he came up to the stage and he said, Beta, kabhi mat chodna. It is the most interesting class in my 35 years of class, in this profession. So continue with that zeal. So, that gave me the impetus. See, here I am weaving my story because I cannot claim it on anybody else. Don't consider this as a bragging. But definitely I'm connecting you that how all it shaped me. My 8th class teacher giving me the opportunity to bring new elements. That was my first milestone. Then at 20, going for this railway training school and becoming a full-time corporate trainer alongside my PhD. And this was, a very, very interesting dimension. And ever since, I have created more than 300 management games on my own. And these games are available on request free of cost, because I don't think that knowledge is to be, closed. It should not be a closed door policy. It is an open policy where everyone can walk through these management games. They can contact me if there need be. So I would be also, I won't be making it very difficult for you. I see that it is 3:27. I may have another, say, 12 or 13 more minutes to speak up. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some of the experiential, learnings which I use. So as I said, more than 300 plus games have been made by me. You can see this is a training at Singapore for a very senior executive program. Though the same technique, I may use it in my class. So don't think that I'm using it only for executives at any national or international level. So I use games, maybe many small 1-minute games you can have. Now, these 1-minute games can be on the basis of calculator, on the internet, on the app base. It can be based on gamification. It can be based on simple technique. As I even said, this one can be used in a multiple way. So you can have your own sizes and shapes and things which you can explore better for going beyond the case teaching and making your class more interesting. More retention of knowledge is the purpose here. So you can, I just yesterday, we launched one of the very interesting, because I'm in an energy management school. Our school is NTPC School of Business, where I'm the director. And I'm very happy to share that yesterday we got a engineering calculator prepared by our projects team at NTPC, which gives you entire dynamics of power trading, checking the pollution, checking the various rates across the globe, and then, converting into INR or US dollar or whichever currency you want to, and can check the various prices and kinds of things. And there are lots of simulation and pop-ups, which keeps you learn so many aspects of energy market, carbon trading, carbon finance, or cross-border trading, or any kind of such exchanges which can be done. So gamification can be done if your IT teams are strong, or if you have any tie-ups with any of the IITs or any of those startups in gamification, you can definitely call them, and in a very cheap rate, you can have those gamification-based things at your institution. I'm not promoting anyone, but yes, of course, it is important that the student of today is given the exposure of the best possible learning to make their learning better, deeper, analytical, and more meaningful, that they can contribute to the national cause. It is very important, because if we are again going for a rote learning, we are contributing nothing. I'm sorry, my dears. Here, I would also say that you can see that, there is this virtual learning, VR devices, AR devices. Even at our school, we have done the Mayaverse, where, the metaverse learning, virtual AR, VR learning is promoted, right? But yes, the involvement of the teachers in everything, that I want to experiment. I would say the first time when I asked in my university that I want to take these students, there was a huge mango tree, and I said, I want to take the students under the mango tree today for the lesson. And my dean was looking at me, what would you do there? So I said, see, I want to teach them there. They said, kya madam, kaise karoge aap? Why? I said, that leave it to me. Trust me. Agar nahi hoga to tomorrow onwards, I will not go and do all this silly experimentation. I took them there. We played certain games and we made this. And the students, I tell you, you can find it out whether I'm talking right or not. There were 40 students in my class that time I'm speaking, and ever after then, there would be 60 students, 90 students. I said, you're only 40 registered. Why are you sitting on the windows?
Ma'am, we lost your voice a bit for a couple of seconds.
Okay, so is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am, now it's fine.
Yeah. So I say that, when you experiment and you're ready to do the work out of the box, the management may show reluctance in the initial stage, but if your conviction they see, they would allow you. I'll take a very interesting question here. Srimant has asked, Madam, how we can engage students regarding warehouse management and purchase management? See, for purchase management, I would say that there is a simulation game available which gives you various price dynamics. And when you use those price dynamics, you can purchase in a very good way. Similarly, for warehouse management, the layout of the warehouse, give them a chart and a sketch pen and say that draw a layout which takes minimum space and maximum utility and accessibility of the in certain particular way. Give somebody an alphabetical order of somebody you give by size, or somebody you say freehand, you use it, the space maximum available is this. Arrange these drawers and make this thing happen. Now, what happens? They understand the layout, design, accessibility, issues related with warehouse, that if I need to pick a particular item and it is lying behind, then I cannot pick it up. So what can I do? Like, it should be a kind of a 3D. If it is possible, you can. If not, at least give them a drawing board and a colored pen to draw it and find out which would be the best fit. It would be kind of a jigsaw puzzle for them. Give them as a task at home. If you don't have time here at the campus, say that you bring this tomorrow or after 3 days or 5 days, bring it up, and then we will discuss about the warehouse management. So that way you can take it forward. It is very, very important that each subject can be taught in a multiple way. Yeah. Some of them are asking if my presentation can be shared. Yes, no problem at all. Upendra sir is there. And yes, I recognize you because we are colleagues in ISTD. So thank you so much for that. We'll share my email ID definitely. And if anything, like any other question you see, I see one question from Bhattacharya. You think there is a need to stress on human values and giving a meaning and purpose of life of students? Oh my God, it's a huge responsibility, Bhattacharya, on each one of us. Unless we give a meaning and purpose, now let me give you another, slogan which I use. If you do not use the youth, if you do not sensitize them socially, they would go and engage themselves anti-socially. I would say that in my IIM Udaipur class, very last year, I went and asked each one of them to share the digital well-being screenshot of past 24 hours. And the average time of the class was 14 hours on screen. And then I said, go and check how many hours on Netflix, how many hours on WhatsApp, and how many times did you go to the research site or any of the academic site? That was less than one hour. That sensitization, within a week, the drop in the usage of digital platform went down to 2.5 hours, like around 3 hours, if I would say. And most of them was more for research and analytics and purposes to download some HBR or something good as a reading material and kind of thing. It's a kind of like, our responsibility. As a native, I don't use WhatsApp, or I don't use social media, I don't use Instagram, I use everything. But for that, I manage my time. I'm working 18 hours and I say that learn from me that how I'm using my 18 hours and still keeping myself happy. So it is very important that we have to engage them for human values, and human values cannot be taught by chalk and board, by a case study. It has to be sensitized where it hits them. For that, you need to go to the psyche of the student you are dealing with. And somebody is very naughty. So I love the naughty students. And I would say that what is the latest thing you have learned in your naughtiness paradigm, in your naughtiness quotient, as was coined by Dr. Manpreet Singh Manna, the person who created the Swayambhu portal. He has created this word naughtiness quotient. And it is patented, by the way. So I asked them, what is a new thing that you, because the naughty children are the very brainy people. Because they get bored, so they do something. Because you're not able to engage them. So that is very important. Yes, human values. Sensitize them at the point where it hurts, where it creates a sense, where it hits them.
Yes.
Yeah, that is very important.
True. Yes, ma'am. Completely agree. The most imaginative minds are in the back benches. So I always call them the VIPs, the balcony seaters. So, ma'am, in one of the 9 pastures that you covered, you said history was the first one. So what would go under history? So, SWOT and issues and challenges and dynamics, all that. But what was in the history? Because that's another topic very close to me.
Yeah. So, of course, I would say that in history, see the dates, case event, there are any dates, any place, any particular, like if it is a pharma industry case, then it has to come like a pharma or established in so and so year. This is when they did the renovation or something like that, because those informations set the context. Say this is a case of Mexico, so my student would learn what is Mexico in a globe, what is Mexico and what Mexicans do, like what is their specific cultural dynamics, what language they speak, what kind of activity they do. Pharma case, then in this, what is this pharma industry, what it is producing, when it was established, what was the vision and mission of this company. So these becomes the historical perspective. SWOT is, of course, as a layman, what you understand the strength and weakness. I won't say ONT because I see that SWOT is a very boring method. But issues, identify the issues. Don't identify, write the same as is written in the case. Identify the issue. Is it something related with marketing? In marketing, which concept? What kind of, issues are there? If it is HR, is it related with work culture? Is it related with industrial relations? Is it working with POSH? Is it working with CSR? Or is it working with business environment? In business environment, is it Indian environment? What? So identify the issue first based on the classification. Once you have classified, then bring down the real issues. And then challenges does mean action forward. So what are the challenges which needs immediate attention, maybe a mediocre time attention, and the longest, like in a long time it can be resolved. So when you divide these issues into timelines, they become the action forward under the challenges paradigm. And then I know urgency importance matrix is there. This is the first thing I need to address. So when I need to address, then comes your decision dilemma, action forward, then the future forward, or out of box thinking. So these are various, dimensions you can put through, and you can enjoy the session as a teacher as well as a student. I hope I answered your question.
Yes. It was the same one. Someone else asked about SWOT, but I think ma'am covered that. She was asking how, somebody asked about how should we do SWOT for the faculty, I think, but I have missed that chat. I think you covered that, ma'am. If you want to add one more point there. She was asking SWOT analysis for faculties to upgrade teaching, I think.
Yeah. So, madam, can you suggest SWOT analysis for faculty to make our teaching methodology attractive? I would say, see, SWOT has got four words divided into two parts. Everybody knows, everybody talks. SW and OT. SW is internal. It is related with you, yourself. First, you do your own SWOT analysis. Where my strength lies, where am I having weakness as a teacher, as my teaching methodology, my andragogy, my students, my ecosystem of my school. You start working with that. And of course, the opportunities and threats, being a kind of teacher I want to become. So this would give yourself a mirror to see yourself. Similarly, when you are going as a teacher in the class, if there is a perspective, there is a concept, there is a theory, there is a practical, there is some kind of a lab activity, make them understand why this concept has got certain strengths. These are the weaknesses, how this can be removed, what can be the opportunity generation, and what are the threats. And if it is a case method, of course, SWOT gives you perspective to take a better decision. It is not that it gives a fixed solution. I would repeat, SWOT helps you build perspectives and context understanding better. It doesn't put you into fixed answers. Analogy case method is not to bring fixed answers unless it is a mathematical derivative question.
True.
Otherwise, it is all, everybody can take the solution at their own way. There can be any way, that then what way you have taken, what can be the consequences, you have to give the logic and the reasoning with an analytical answer. So that is where you bring more value. Yeah.
Yes. There was one last question, I think, about how we could include better teaching pedagogy in operations area, I think. There was one, other than case studies.
Well, I would say that yes, SWOT analysis helps in strategic planning and teaching methods. It does. Mohammad Jahanara, or yeah, I think Jahangir Ali. Mohammad Jahangir Ali, yes, SWOT analysis helps in strategic planning and teaching methods, because any board plan, as I said, if not in 9 pastures, divide it at least in 4 pastures and bring the learning to the fore, connect it with the concept. It can help you like anybody, and it would give you a kind of an edge on your own skills. So you can do board planning as a strategy, that I would bring this concept at this time, I would teach this concept this way. That itself can show that how strategy can be, play a very, very important role in your teaching plans. But yes, as a subject of strategy, we do have wonderful, beautiful case studies. Indian case studies are also there. Okay. I think somebody has asked for operations management. Did you see that?
Yes. I was referring to that one.
Yeah. So in operation, I encourage my teachers to use, other than board, I ask them to go into community of practices. I also ask them to create some kind of small simulation if they can do it, because it is practically required. So as I said that yesterday, the engineering calculator, this is the app that has been developed. Go and check. It may be, useful for you in some way. It is freely available on Amazon or Google Play Store. It is there. You can buy it.
What app, ma'am? Sorry, can you repeat the app?
Engineering calculator.
Yes, ma'am.
And there are simulation available for the calculation of lead time, pod CPM. There are so many small, and they are freely available on internet. Don't worry that you have to pay something or your site would be hacked. There are safe sites. Hundreds of safe sites are available. Go and check it. They are there. But you have to be very patient about it. You can even ask your students. Like I would say that I use this app called Mimind. MIMIND. Mimind.
Okay, ma'am.
This is this is what you call as a brain mapping kind of a tool, which gives you a bubble diagram. Like you can create a kind of a presentation with bubble diagram and all. So in project management, you can also use the Mimind app. So these are, important things. I'm happy that you're bringing the questions which can practically help you. And what I am doing is now, I'm seeing that there are some more questions, answers. Okay, I don't want to. So, Tripta, I think, we have consumed the time. It is 3:59. I'm very conscious as a teacher that we should not be speaking beyond the time. And if the participants are there, I would like to just write my email ID here. But I'm not able to see the chat in any way. Yeah. I'm not able to.
You can type a message. You can click on the chat and type a message, ma'am.
No, I'm trying to, but I'm not able to.
If you can call out, I'll just type it out, ma'am.
Yeah. So I will do this, or typing a message here, but it is coming. Okay, everyone in the meeting. Now I got it. Yeah. So my email ID personal is rajeshwari.narendran@gmail.com. Can you see? No?
Thanks for excellent session.
Okay. So I am unable to see my own typing, but can you note it down? Rajeshwari.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. RAGESH.
Rajeshwari.
Narendran. NARENDRAN. Narendran.
Yes, ma'am.
At gmail.com. This is my personal email ID because, I don't want to.
That's so nice. That's so nice.
Yeah. Yes, okay. This is right, Trupti. Rajeshwari.narendran@gmail.com. Anybody can, contact me if anything you need. And believe me, for teachers, I have taken a vow with Kalam sir that any teacher, anytime, anything needs, I would be available for your service. Thank you so much. It was wonderful being with you.
That's a privilege. That's such a big privilege. And I'm so glad that in this, I had a very packed schedule, but one of my directors, Dr. Ganesh Rao sir, had asked me, and I am so happy that I took it up. I'm so happy to have met you. Really, really insightful. I would really want to say that. And thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot. I could, the depth of it, the feel of it, the sincerity was so obvious. And I would lastly like to thank along with the speaker, Dr. R. Nardgopal, President AIMS, Dr. Ganesh Rao sir, Executive Board Member, and all the AIMS board members and all of the entire team who has made this possible today. Dr. Sunil Joshi sir, who has been coordinating with me and answering my questions last minute. And thank you, ma'am. I called you, I had to. It was a privilege having you. And I would love to be connected with you through WhatsApp if I am allowed to do that.
Please do. Yes. No worries.
And if you're there on LinkedIn, I think a lot of them can connect with you there.
Yeah, I'm there on LinkedIn. Yes.
Sure. Thanks a lot, ma'am. It was a pleasure knowing you.
Thank you.